From December 27 this year, we will see search engines being forced to use some sort of age assurance technology on users who wish to log in. And the alternative for those companies, principally Google and Microsoft, if they fail to comply, is a fine of almost $50 million from the eSafety Commissioner. What it means is that for logged in users who are under 18, who are found to be under 18 by these age checks, they will have their search results filtered for things like pornography, high impact violence, eating disorder content, a range of content really. Any logged out users, so if you don't log in, if you don't have your age checked, you'll kind of end up with a default safety setting. So what will happen is you'll have images of pornography and high impact violence blurred at a minimum in your search results, but perhaps not, entire links omitted, as is the case with that, highest range of protection. We don't know what methods search engines are going to use to check people's ages, but having read through these rules, there's kind of a menu of options, I suppose you could say, really similar to what's on the table for the teen social media ban. Things like ID checks, things like face scanning, credit card checks are an option. You may even see search engines using the data that they already have about users, which is pretty extensive in many cases, to algorithmically kind of check in the background whether or not the user is 18 and just make a determination that way, which would be the lowest impact version of this, I suppose. As for whether or not it will keep children safer online, a lot of experts are worried that this may not be worth the cost to our privacy, and that there are some ways through this layer of protection that's being brought in. This is Professor Lisa Given from RMIT University, who says there are some ways around it.
It serves as a bit of a gatekeeping function, but at the end of the day, where there's a will, there's a way. People can definitely still access this content by not logging into an account. They could also use a VPN to get around it by pretending to not be in Australia, for example. And of course, in many people's homes, there's often like a family account where people might have a shared laptop logged in all the time. Parents are going to have to be very careful to ensure that they are logged out of an adult account in order for these kind of controls to be appropriately in place.
That was Professor Lisa Given there from RMIT University. And I suppose in response to that, what the eSafety Commissioner has to say is that, this is part of a multi-layered approach, this plan that they've got to protect children. It's not the be-all and end-all, it's one piece of the puzzle, and that the bigger picture will, help keep children safer overall online.
Ange, I wonder whether people will be a bit shocked by this. Do you think people are actually aware that this is going to happen?
No, I don't, and that's why I decided to do the story, because it has happened somewhat quietly. Part of the reason why I think it's been quiet is not because the eSafety Commissioner hasn't been talking about these changes. They're changes to the regulatory code. That is a clue, though. This has happened away from the halls of Parliament, unlike the teen social media ban, which we've seen the government advancing, in this very full-throated way. This is happening in the relatively dry world of regulation, so we don't hear so much about it. And we haven't seen the government clearly, communicate about the age checks that will be brought in for not just search engines, but, potentially other parts of the internet as well, even though this is, a pretty significant change to the infrastructure of the internet and from what experts are saying, unprecedented globally.